ain't been on this channel already, or if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because I'm gonna wait on you. Thank you. As you can tell by the title, I'm gonna be talking about my labor and delivery story. If you already got kids, you know. What they be saying, if you know, then you know. Listen, it was June 5th, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm bouncing on this damn medicine ball, and I just started feeling the contractions. I was just like, what have I done? I was just like, Lord Jesus. Whew. Mind you, I was actually supposed to be due June 10th. That was my original due date and my original day for induction or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, it might be time. He might try to go on his own. So I called my nurse and she's like, no, like, you know, definitely go to the hospital and get checked out, whatever, and see if everything's okay. So I'm like, all right. I get there and they do like a little routine checkup, and they, you know, try to see, you know, if I've dilated or just have any changes that's gonna make me have to stay at the hospital. So I was only at like 1 or 2 centimeters at the time, so I was progressing from my last appointment, which was on June 3rd. So so they're like, okay, everything looks good, but you know, your son looks like, you know, he's not moving that much as much as he's supposed to be at 39 weeks. So I'm like, okay, like, what's that supposed to mean? Like, y'all scaring me now. So my boyfriend, we look at each other like, okay, so what's the next step? So the doctor was like, okay, so I don't feel comfortable sending you home. You're actually gonna stay, and you're not leaving until you have this baby. And I'm just like, what? I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared. I was nervous. All that. So I'm like, okay. So it didn't really kick in until I was transferred to the bigger room. And so I'm like, okay. I'm in there, I'm talking to the nurse. I'm just like, it's like reality was hitting me. I'm like, I really gotta stay here? Like, I really gotta stay? Like, she was like, yes. We're finna start your induction. We're finna give you on the Pitocin and about to get you started. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm scared.
My first and only pregnancy. To this day. Well, I got another one on the way, but he's not here yet.
I'm scared. I'm scared. So they get to put it in my IV or whatever. So it's like regulated by numbers or whatever. And I can't remember what number it started off from, but they gradually like press the button and your contractions get stronger and stronger and they get closer together. So about 5, like I don't remember what the number was, but I could start to feel them getting closer and getting stronger. So at that point, I'm in there like just doing the same stuff that I had did with my daughter. Like, I was just breathing. Every time she came in there, she would ask me, like, you know, did you want any medicine? Did you want to, like, you know, relieve some of the pain? I'm just like, no. Previously, I had a epidural with my daughter, and I just didn't like the experience. So I promised that once I had my son, I wasn't going to have any medicine. I was going to do none of that. So I stuck to it. I didn't get no medicine. I didn't do anything at all. I just was like breathing, like, I just breathing through all the pain. So it started to get crazy. So I'm like, okay, let me get up, let me walk around, like maybe that'll make it feel better. So I'm all in the bathroom, I'm all holding on to the bar, I'm all doing all type of stuff, like holding on to the bed. Then they brought this like big old huge like little bouncy ball in there, and I sat on there and I just was like, you know, bouncing and rocking to like calm the contractions down. So I'm like, Lord Jesus, like, I couldn't believe the pain that I was in. I was like,
I've been there for you. Why nobody's there for me?
bro, this is different. It's hitting different. So I'm like, okay. After a while, the doctor came back in. She was like, you sure? You're crazy. Like, you don't want any medicine? Like, I don't know how you're doing this without medicine. Like, you're at the highest, like, mark, we got to cut it off. So I'm like, nope, I'm gonna just stick through it. I'm gonna stick through it or whatever. I'm not getting no medicine. I'm sticking to my plan. So they had this little Foley thing that they put in between your legs, and you lay on your side pretty much, and you hold that while you have contractions or whatever. So I was having my contractions, and I was having that thing between my leg, and it was the most uncomfortable feeling ever. So all of a sudden I just feel like my baby, I feel his head, like it's like he just slipped down into like the birthing canal or whatever. So I'm like, I think I just felt him, like I just felt him, like, you know, go down. You might have, you know, very well have felt him or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like what's next? I'm like, at this point I'm growling, like I'm doing all of that. So at that point I'm like, go get the doctor, like I feel like this big gush just come on. I'm just looking at her like, oh my god, I'm scared, because at that point my body was like starting to push by itself, like it was just naturally pushing. Like I was just like, go get the doctor, because this baby's about to come out right now. So she looked at the doctor, and the doctor was like, oh yeah, you're at centimeters, you're complete, let's do this, let's push. So I'm like, ready to push, my eyes was like,
This is all I got.
it felt like the ring of fire, literally the ring of fire. I'm like, oh no, I'm closing my legs, I'm doing all this type of stuff. I'm like, no, I'm straight, we can pack up, do this tomorrow. Like, no, I'm good. So they laughing, they're like, no, you made it too far, you went through 8 hours of labor with no medicine, no nothing, you can do this, you made it to the finish line. So I'm like, okay.
All right. That's what I gotta do, baby. This is for you.
So I'm like, push. I'm pushing. I'm like, pushing, making all these noises and stuff. And I just couldn't do it. It was like, let me tell you, it was just this horrible burning feeling. Like, to the point, you know how you do that? You stretch your mouth out real wide and open it real wide and it be ashy? That's what I felt like down there. So I'm like, oh Lord, come on, don't kill me, don't let me die, don't let me die.
And I know I'm not perfect. I know I piss people off all the time. But rather you...
So I'm like, let me calm down, because I am not going to be down up in here, bro. Let me just calm down. So after that, I tried to push for the 3rd time, and he came right out. Arms, shoulders, all that, just leave right out. And I was in there like, get him out of me. Like, you know when you get to that point where you just in a whole bunch of pain, you don't care what happened or what they gonna do, you just want the baby out of you. That's what I was. Get that baby out of me now. That's what I was doing. And so once he got out of me, I was just like,
I just want my baby. And no one's listening because no one's in the courtroom.
I did it, bro. I can't believe I did it. Whew. It was crazy. And I just kept thinking about it, like, bro, I really did it. I really did it. Like, that's crazy. And I feel like I want to promote every woman that's currently pregnant or trying to get pregnant to do it naturally. For one, I just feel like it eliminates like the stress that it puts on the baby. And for two, I feel like it eliminates them trying to hurry up and trying to give you a C-section. I wasn't having that, because if they would have told me they had to give me a C-section or cut me, I would have been having my baby at home, period. But that was my labor and delivery story, and look forward to listening to my postpartum story. If you haven't already, set your notification bell, like this, comment if you've ever experienced birthing natural or experienced it with, you know, epidural, whatever your birthing story. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.